We are so grateful that you all stayed at our side. Everybody supported us, some with their good thoughts and others with helpful hands and the moment of need. I believe that there will be many more childbirths like this in our eco-village, that Lyubomir will have a lot of friends and peers. Let our eco-village be fruitful and multiply. Hurrah!
Небо поет над нами, солнце не за горами. Какого лета цвета морской волны. Вижу твои просторы, вольной реки узоры. Лето всегда согрето теплом из глубины. Улыбнись, оглянись, здесь прекрасная земля. К ней с любовью прикоснись, загадай желания. Пусть с тобой, милая, засверкают звезды в небе. Летом ночь дивная, нет земли другой на свете. Нет земли другой на свете.
More than 150 families have found their home on the beautiful fields of the eco-village Slavnoi. Each of them has their own story, their own path, but all of them have the same goal. People develop these plots to create their kin's domains. 3 years ago, I walked with Yelena in downtown Murmansk and talked about how we've learned to survive in an urban environment. For instance, I can work in a trade, or I could open and run various companies, and so. When we decided to go into rural life and to live on the land, it turned out that we didn't know anything about this life. We didn't know how to build a house. We didn't know the names of birds. We knew nothing about herbs, and we didn't know anything about soil. We've never grown crops, and yes, if you'll excuse me, we didn't even know where an egg comes out of a hen. People come and are amused. They ask questions. They wonder. Not many have seen such hens. The artificial urban world is already well known. There's nothing left to learn. It's very dull, not interesting anymore. We have a strong desire to live close to nature, to live life fully in places where there's an abundance of life, instead of cities full of artificial buildings and little of nature. Here are the quail's eggs. They're quite large for quail's eggs because they usually have 2 yolks. There are the Chinese hen's eggs. See, they're so nice and round. They're neat and clean and delicious too. Yes, they're very tasty. First of all, we thought about what we needed to live here. Actually, many of the needs that ruled our life in the city are not important here on the land. Here we don't eat sweets. We don't eat meat. Bravo, that's a good girl. Now let's go to hop on the log. Really? Can you imagine eating your friends? We have a goal to change our lifestyle to a more natural way of living, nothing artificial, and to be more independent and free. Here, after many years of living in a frantic place in the city, we at last have time to think. Well, we call it a monastery, although in reality the technology we apply here is called chicken tractor. We fence off some area and let the hens in there. The hens trample out the greens, dung the soil, and then we move everything to another place. Here we have good, nourished soil, where everything will grow well next year. Although even now everything already grows well, against the background of meadow flowers, tomatoes grow in lush plants, with many tomatoes and grain crops are tall and full. Last year we planted peas and oats here, but the mice ate them. But this year we have a cat that guards our field. Now the mice don't eat the peas. See, here they are, yellow, ready. You can dry them and make a delicious soup. As we work with nature, we get many new ideas, really a lot. By the way, with time, the idea came up to build their house using natural, local materials: clay, sand and straw. In the beginning we wanted to build a cottage with 100 square meters of living area. You know, it's generally accepted. We didn't know any other way. Now we understand that a man who has a vast space around the house doesn't need a large house. The house should be cozy, warm and comfortable. We wanted to build a house made with natural materials. A living house. Yes, a living house. We tested our strength on this house and we were convinced that we could do this. Of course, Yelena and I were completely unprepared to build a house. I mean, we'd never built a house. We never even thought about it. But nevertheless, we made up our minds, got down to it and did it. Here's the house where you can live comfortably and feel great inside yourself. In building that house, they decided to use no heavy machine. The clay was extracted by hand from a 4-meter deep pit. In addition, it turns out that we always have water for irrigation. It is a cob house and it breathes. It is very good and comfortable for body. It turns out that cob houses preserve natural humidity at about 50%. If the humidity drops below this level, then your skin dries out and ages faster. And also the mucous membranes in your breathing passages get dry, making it harder to breathe. Cob houses prevent all of this. Besides, they have a quality of keeping cool on hot days, accumulating sun warmth, and later at night, they give this warmth back, keeping the house at a constant, comfortable temperature. Cell phones did not expect this. When you work with clay, with your feet, you massage all the inner organs of your body through your feet. You get healed and detoxified. Last year people came to us to help build the house, and so we were able to erect the walls in a month and a half. We had 55 people helping us, and many of them came because they wanted to heal their feet this way. After working up cob with your feet become so weightless, very pleasant feeling. The guys are laughing. It was worth leaving the city just to get so many friends here that you never had a chance to have in the city. Everything comes in the right way. Communication quality is different here. We like it so much. As an experiment, our neighbor, Olya, has made a plaster using eggs, clay and sand. It is water resistant. It is great to plaster cob walls. It is natural, clean and ecological. Mineev's family shared their recipes of ecological detergents with us. Sometimes I make lye liquor for washing. For instance, we put a small scoop of ash in a 6-liter cast iron pot. The liquor gets boiled, and then, when it's cooled, the lye is ready. It's kind of soapy, soft water that you can use to do your washing. It works the same way as any powdered detergent, namely, you soak and wash. This is how our ancestors did their washing. For a shampoo, you take 2 fresh chicken eggs, carefully mix the whites and the yolks together, then mix it with any herbal infusion, nettle or chamomile. For instance, you can make the infusion 24 hours before you use it and get perfect shampoo. I'd emphasize their domestic crafts. Yelena, using no needles or scissors, creates a Russian ragdoll guards. Many people believe these dolls gather all negative energy around the house within a year. Many people ask why these Russian dolls have no faces. It's because if you make her a face, the doll will always have the same face. But if you make her without a face, each time you come to her, she can reflect your mood. She is consistent with your inner world. If I'm angry, she may be angry too. My imagination gives her the face. So I can talk with her. I can cooperate with her. That's such a unique thing. Our journey around the Slavnoye eco-village continues. We are invited to the Kin's domain of Natalia Bereznaya. This domain has its own name. It's called Maryusa's Kin's domain. The domain of Maryusa. We set up this cabin on August the 15th, and on August the 16th, we brought and planted this low scrub from the gully. It was already as red as it is now. I believe that the soil we have here in the low places is wonderful. Sure, we have to work on it a bit at the beginning, but then everything will be great. Natalia and her husband Yuri have chosen their plot in an open field with not a single tree. If they aren't daunted by this, but on the contrary, they feel they have an additional challenge for development, there will be a wonderful arboretum here. There will be a lot of coniferous as well as a variety of deciduous trees. This is not just a Kin's domain. This is a living component of the universe, as we are part of it, and we want to fill this universe with love. See, up there, marked with pegs, there is a larch from the Arctic. Not only trees and flowers are growing in this domain, but a beautiful log house has sprung up here as well. We won't panel the walls inside. Everything will stay as it is, live and natural. Perhaps we just polish the logs inside, and it will be striking and the logs can still breathe. Nutrition is very important in every person's life. Here is a milky marrow, nice and fresh. We are going to eat it now. As a matter of fact, we are what we eat. That's why it's so important to take food that raises up our spirit and brings us back to nature, to God. To eat is like to breathe. That's why we've planted such a big variety of different plants, fruits and vegetables here. This apple tree, called Winner's Glory, which is very consistent with the name of our eco-village. See, here we have 2 apples already. I hope they'll get ripe in time for us to eat them at the Harvest Festival. When we return for our primordial image on the earth, there will be no need to take solid food. Breathing will feed us by itself, because the air will contain all needed nutrients. I have a cool place down there. The stones where one can jump, and I can run down there too. Look, a stone bowl.
Из камешка.
Every single domain in eco-village Slavnoye has a beauty of its own. Kin's domain and the Frolov's family is built in the middle of the brushwood. First you think, dear me, shall I live in the country? Oh my God, somewhere in the fields, in wilderness, I'll never make it. There's so much to do, so much money is needed, and the land still has to be legislated somehow. You see, no, it's not that bad. You see, where you can earn money here and possible work actually shows up. You see that you can live a full life here. Though, of course, you still have to plant and grow a lot. This is the very first tree we planted here, and I always come to her, touch her, gently talk to her. I believe she responds somehow. Now we're going to cross the flight zone of the bees. You better hurry up. Look, a brown-capped mushroom. In any book on horticulture, even from the Soviet Union, times you'll read that bees raise crops, productivity by 30%. They're very useful. A lawnmower turns out to be a devastating thing for the bees. As you come up to the beehive, at about 20 meters, they immediately buzz and begin to push you away. They don't sting you at first, but they come up, fly around, buzz as if saying, go away. And you have to turn off the lawnmower and go away far enough not to disturb them. And while the bees were making their beehive habitable, Alexei and Masha have built their own house. This we made by hand. We use it to dry herbs and also as a storage area for our motor, cultivator and other tools. This hut is 5 times less expensive than if we had bought it ready-made. And this house we call a quick house, because we want to live here now, to spend the winter here. Who made this house for you? We made it ourselves, the 2 of us. Although now we have friends who come to help. First you draw a plan, then you assess the number of wooden slabs in cubic meters. Then you assess your money in rubles. After that, you scratch your head, saying to yourself, gosh, I will never make it. Then you say, what the heck, let's do it. In a kin's domain, men get their multiple hidden talents revealed when they have a specific goal and a great desire to reach it. Here you can fulfill yourself entirely. Our goal is to free the earth, to clean the piles of litter, and again, you can do that only if you live in your own space of love. Here you can be the way you really want to be.
Напои свой дух, прими живой глоток.
What's most important is that the children are raised in a good community, in a pure environment, and grow up naturally. In general, it's desirable to have relationships within living elements, like the earth, fire, water, air. Living elements, Mikhail and Alyona Ivanovs learn in practice. We have lived here in the birch forest for 2 years. Our domain is located under the open sun. No shade at all. It's hard to stay here in the summer. There are many different opportunities in our world for a man to learn something. One can attend various seminars and workshops. I mean that one can cognize oneself infinitely. One of the ideas that really drives us in creating and supporting lifestyle where we are able to develop ourselves living in our own space. I mean creating the living environment by its nature stimulates our life, our well-being and development. In the past, Mikhail used to be a civil construction engineer, a successful entrepreneur. I realized that I was creating things I don't actually want to multiply in the world. All those concrete tower blocks. I mean that I didn't like this lifestyle, but I kept going by my own hands. Well, after a while, I quit that work. At present, Mikhail and Alyona are the creators of their kin's domain. We decided to build a house by our own effort. It was interesting to me to build a house by myself, and of course with other people to help, but not hiring professional builders. According to my concepts, the energy flows better into the round-shaped forms, and it's more comfortable. Mainly because of this, we have chosen cobs as construction material, because you can shape a cob any way you want as you work with it. You can make any architectural form of it, for instance, an arch or a niche. It's not easy to get cob material up to the ceiling. It's really high. But now we have found a way of doing that. We invented cob balls and throw them up to the ceiling. It's fun, like a children's game, and now many people come to help us, and just to play. Of course, in a day, we make a layer of this thick 10 to 15 centimeters, working around the circle. The energy rises when a person comes here to give effort selflessly. This energy also shows itself on a big scale. For a man's development, creation is needed, as well as festive occasions and communication, and a kin's domain assures a favorable climate and excellent conditions for development, although everything still depends on the man. Thanks to this place, I have my native land. Ivan and Nina Bromiskis have their native land in eco-village Slavnoye. Here, when we first came here, this land, this domain greeted us with mushrooms, and there was a rainbow in the sky. It was clear right away that this is what we want, the place where we want to live. There is some kind of special aroma here, a special sense of comfort. After having lived in a tent, a plan has matured to build an unusual house with huge windows and angled walls. The south side absorbs the sun better. The north side blocks the wind in the winter, which makes the space inside more comfortable. Only eco-village inhabitants have taken part in the construction process. When we were looking for a place to set this house, it was like you kind of get hesitant. You try and squeeze the house into this open, and suddenly you realize that all our life in Moscow, in an apartment with 4 walls, we were just packed into these downtowns. Here, it's absolutely different. Everything we chase in town is an illusion. We run after money in order to spend it for the same race again. I believe this is a dead end for the modern humanity. Living in harmony with nature, this is what gives you happiness.
Мне кажется, это тупиковый путь вообще для современного человечества. Гармония с природой – вот что дает счастье.
Here is happiness so great and so broad that you can do it. It is hardly possible to feel happiness while being alone. Good neighborliness is another important part of Kin's domain gear. I believe that the land has helped us find our neighbors. You cannot see it from here, but there they are, our neighbors, the house of Ivan and Nina Promiskis. Alexei Bosov, a specialist in demand with 2 bachelor degrees, creates his future far away from the city. Here's our future, ours and our children. Planted strawberry this spring, also little apple and pear trees. We hope that we'll have a blossoming garden here in the future. This year, the marrows turned out to be the best. Well done! What marrows? Have you been growing the marrows yourself? Mama helped. He presents at adult gatherings that we have quite often here. We meet with neighbors. We like to spend evenings together. Given the opportunity, we want to say hello to our neighbors. Without separating from mom and dad, a child can run, listen to a guitarist's song, to what adults talk about, and everything he hears that will be good for him, for sure. The issue of children's education in the eco-village is a favorite topic right now. To help him understand who I am and what I am, to understand the inner essence of himself, to discover the talents and endowments in himself, perhaps every child has something special. The moral health of a nation begins right here on the land.
Кто таков, знаешь, кто таков, чуешь, человек веков? Кто таков, знаешь, кто таков, веришь, верный сын отцов? Память наша, правда наша. Кто таков, знаешь, кто таков, чуешь, кто таков, знаешь, кто таков, веришь, кто таков, чуешь, чуешь.
Hello, dear friends. At the end of summer, the harvest festival takes place in the eco-village Slavnoye. All residents have brought fruits of their labor to share their joy with each other. Mama, look, what a pumpkin they have. Yura, what sort do you have? What is the name? Tomatoes, delicious. No, how it's called. This is what it's called, delicious. Aha, it seems we have the same sort. Scientifically speaking, delicious Slavnoye. Yes, people can read the details of the harvesting progress and other eco-village news in Slavnoye Herald. The residents thought up and organized the cultural events for the festival, and the children took an active part in all events. Hello, it's me, Daniela Sinyagov. We're going to have a dance in the ring about raspberries. The rain came down in torrents suddenly. The heavens decided to take part in the fiesta too, but this didn't disturb anybody. The performance continued under the shelter. I like the fiestas most because each time people are so creative, so absolutely unexpected. Here they are, one after another, games, competitions. God knows where it all comes from. In a city, Sergei Terentiev is a famous surgeon, cancer specialist, though in the eco-village he builds roads. A fiesta like a discovery for him. Everything gets opened, awakened here somehow. Creativity seems to come from nowhere. People begin to write verses, to draw beautiful pictures.
Вы обо мне? А вот и я. Вы рады встрече со мной, друзья?
I believe this is the influence of the environment. Of course, changed goals, maybe a different attitude towards the earth, about nature and about ourselves. See, it revives in people everything good that was hidden deep inside. Well done, children. They learned and made so much during the summer. Clever boys and girls. Thank you, guys. And now, everybody, let's go and dance, sing and have fun. This year, we have so many children here. We have a lot of common events and gatherings, and the children feel very good too. Irina Terentieva and her grandson Nikita know where the best place is for children to have a good time. We often see each other on the beach, and actually we have many nice places where we can meet. Such wonderful steps they have made here. We really want to live where there's clean, fresh air and pure water, where there's a clean forest with mushrooms and berries, where the birds sing and wild animals come up, where organic carrots and tomatoes grow. The Terentiev family already has everything to meet their needs. On their domain, they have a pond, a garden, a forest, and vegetables grow ripe behind the hurdle. I said that I'm not going to dig myself in here like on 600 square meters. This is not going to work here. I pour all food waste out here, all organic of course. There's no other fertilizers here, not even manure. Other than the green remnants of food waste, I'm going to plant something here next year. Little Nikita keeps up with his grandmother. We planted some dill yesterday. I did. I wanted very much to have a great variety of everything around. As a matter of fact, this has started to work already. I have flowers that sow by themselves. I've begun to share them already. This is a real joy for me. Other people like it too. Here are our cucumbers. By the way, I never had success with them before, and now I've succeeded. Please, take some. And here we get buckwheat. You see. Are you packing already, Irina? Anybody else wants to share what they've grown? We've got such a crop of marrows this year that we decided to make marrow jam. I brought some here and I'll treat you with pleasure. Here is capsicums and cucumbers as well. This is from our bees, honey in the comb. see this tomato is grown by the mommy, and that one is grown up by the son. This I threw away on manure, and then I thought a bit and covered it with some soil. And here's what's turned out of it.
А это я выкинула на навоз. Потом подумала и накрыла сверху землей. И вот что выросло.
Here are our tomatoes. You see, we now live not just to earn our salary. We want to make something on the earth, plant, to grow, to restore forests, to revive nature. On the places where the forest shelters belts will stand up, the Terentiev's family already planted more than 600 pines and around the same amount of other trees. Yes, there are trees everywhere, where you can see the pegs. Next year, I suppose it will be about this high. Consider this. Here we have river Osma, which flows down here. Such a small river now. It was full flowing a long time ago, when there were forests all around. Now when the forests are cut down, the land is plowed into big agricultural fields. The river turns into a shallow stream. Deforestation along the riverbanks make rivers shallow. Namely, the forest floor accumulates all the season's damp, and then it slowly gives the water back in springs. When the forest is cut, this process stops and the river begins to dry up. The solution is simple. Restore the forest and everything will be restored. According to our vision, trees should grow up all around the plot. We'll have a forest here with an opening in the middle, because wind can come from any side. It can be destructive and prevent everything from growing. When the forest is here, there will be no problems at all. We'll leave small openings for orchards and vegetable gardens and so on. Everything else will be practically in the forest. To accomplish this, at least 1 hectare of land is needed. The situation is that 1 hectare of land is an obligatory area where you can build a sufficiently balanced ecosystem that's supported and restored by itself. A system that is foraged, protected and fertilized by itself. I mean, you cannot grow a forest on 600 square meters. And I, for instance, cannot imagine a full-grown ecosystem without a forest. A forest practically the center of everything, the source of springs and rivers. A forest means a lot of birds, pest control. It means wood, nuts, mushrooms. Mushrooms on your domain? Can you imagine? How can you do it for 600 square meters? Is it impossible? That's why 1 hectare is needed as a minimum. So to resume, Slavnoye made out well in all respects. Therefore, hurrah to Slavnoye! Hurrah! The moment has come for dinner. A vegetable ragout was cooked in a big kettle from the vegetables grown here. Salad greens were cut and prepared. Beverages were herbal, teas, and berry drinks. Alcohol is absent. The life is fulfilled. So why drink alcohol? What makes people drink? Hopelessness, for instance. A dead-end situation. We have nothing like that. And so why should we drink? We have fun as it is. Dear friends, is everybody here? Let us thank the nature. Thank this summer which has given us such a rich harvest in Slavnoye. Let us thank the upcoming autumn that will also bring us a lot and help to ripen our fruits. Let us fill this food with our kinds of thoughts and our wishes of gratitude to Mother Earth, to the rain, to the sky, and to the sun. Hurrah! Thank you, Mother Earth. And Mother Earth responded and gave people with her warmth and effulgence. She has sparked her light in the hearts of those who create joy and peace on earth with their thoughts and deeds.
солнце рассвета нового дня. Радуйся брызгам удачи и для тебя. Радуется земля.